there's nothing that brings us together like somebody not doing their job. And so I walk out the crib the other day, white guy who lives directly in front of us is sweeping outside. And he's like, man, what the hell do we pay all this money for? What do we pay all this money for?
Not all this money.
He got skipped too?
So
the whole building.
They're skipping the whole building. You know what's foul? We the building closest to the trash. So I think somebody done pissed them off and they trying to like set a tone. So the white guy was like, what do we pay all this money for? I'm like, right, $17. $17. What are we paying it for?
17.
All
Bro,
this money?
I don't know exactly what it
like
is.
so mine is like 30.
Mine's 25.
And it's like, okay, I don't understand this concept of valet trash.
Let me open the door for you to come here and take it out the trash
That's what I'm
can
saying.
in the house.
It's a dude driving around in a truck. It's not even like
Yeah, like a Ford F-150.
Yes, it's
Yes,
just a
bro.
dude in a truck who walks by your apartment and grabs your trash. That's it.
The dude at our spot puts the trash on top of his car.
Yes, yeah. And then they just take it out.
legit,
Yeah.
just driving with the trash
Is this
on top
a
of his
business
car.
I need to be doing?
Apparently,
Bro, yes.
It's a hustle.
You get a contract.
I asked the people, I said, can we get rid of valet trash? We don't want that on ours. They said, there's nothing, no, you have to have it. It's a service you have to provide. I don't want it. I take the trash out myself.
That's what I'm saying. I might as well.
No, so no cap, I literally take the trash out.
Me too.
Because the dude he becomes so inconsistent. So the white guy is like across from us has been out there for days and he refuses to walk it over to the trash can.
I feel him though.
Because he on strike. So, bro, I don't know what it is. They literally just be skipping our building. One day, we always playing the waiting game. This is actually disgusting. So somebody had dropped trash in front of the walking threshold. In front of the threshold. So it's not in front of a door.
Right.
It's not in front of a door. This is back when the trash people was coming. Do you know they come every day except for Sundays, 6 days a week?
Valet does?
Valet comes every day. Do you know that man would come get the trash from inside the building in front of the doors and leave that trash?
Because it wasn't in the right spot.
Because it wasn't in front of a door. And so he on strike, we on strike. We all walking by. At this point, it's file. And then another white guy who lives on the other side of us was like, I'll just take it.
That's all it is.
Because it has started smelling bad. Yeah, bro, I don't like that. Don't
Valet
charge
trash
me.
bringing all communities together.
Oh my god.
Because somebody ain't doing their job, bro.
Start the fire.
Welcome back to another episode of the Soundboard Podcast, episode 50. This is Coop, and I'm joined by...
Hey, it's your main man Dante.
And...
None other than your boy, JJ.
Produced by...
Big KJB.
Hey, what's up, guys? We made it to 50. Is it right? We need some...
Yes, sir. We made it to 50, and we hit 10K before the 50 mark.
Man.
Which was the goal, man.
Now we're trying to hit 20.
21.
K.
Triple it.
I was like, what?
Flip that.
Okay, yeah, we trying to hit
Bring it
that.
back.
Yeah, we trying to do that.
Yeah, bro. But what's up with y'all, man?
Man, so yesterday I realized that I was a hypocrite.
Oh, you just now realizing that?
Don't do that. Do not do that. I think we all have those moments in our lives where we realize like, yo, I think I'm a hypocrite. So yesterday we were celebrating my aunt's birthday. She turned 60 years old. Shout out to my aunt. And I mean, somebody else's birthday I was at. Not my family's. But I was at this birthday party. And
it's an off mic thing. You gotta
I was at this birthday party yesterday that was not my family. Y'all know because they be getting people on RICO charges. And we were celebrating. I don't need nobody using my lyrics.
Yeah.
And we were celebrating somebody's birthday, the big 6-0. And there was some younger people there. Some would say some little cousins.
Yeah.
And they about 19, 18 years old.
Okay.
And we had a little open bar. And they was drinking. And I was like, hey, you don't need to be drinking that. Hey, don't do that. And they were like, "What? Like, why you tripping about this?" And I was like,
tripping, Unc?
"Yeah, that was, no, big cuzzo." They
Big cuz?
like, "Why you tripping?" I'm like, "Bro, because y'all definitely not 21." And they were like, "Did you drink before you was 21?" I was like, "Oh." I mean,
It's not about me.
yeah, but I didn't disrespect adults by doing it in front of their faces.
They don't respect you.
Out of respect. So that's what I'm saying. So yesterday that happened, and I was like, dang, bro, I'm being a hypocrite. Because I definitely know I was drinking at 18, 19 years old.
Really?
But
Not in front of my family, though.
You wasn't drinking at family functions.
Nah, not in front of family.
That's different.
I was drinking in the streets. I wouldn't disrespect my mama. That's like, bro, for the longest
You
time.
was just disrespecting the law.
Yeah, I mean, that's the law. Like, for the longest time, bro, I didn't even curse in front of my mom. Like, I will never forget the day I accidentally cursed in front of my mom. And I was like, damn, what's taking so long? And she said, what'd you say? And I said, dang, what's taking so long? I just feel like you had this authority. Like, that's an authority. You don't do that in front of authority. Am I narc?
Low key, but I get it. I just can't. I don't even know you, bro. Like, I can't even see you drinking at 19.
So this is the
You
thing.
look very straight laced.
So, so the crazy thing is, bro, in high school, when everybody else was like drinking, smoking, popping pills.
Oh.
Skiing.
Okay, hold on. I ain't never see that. But when people were doing that, I would just be like, hey, guys, be above the influence.
Dare to be different.
Like, you don't have to do this to have fun.
That was my tagline,
Yeah,
bro.
you don't have to do this to have fun. Then I got to college and I was all the way below the influence. I was the influencer.
Yeah.
So I just always felt like you don't do it in front of authorities. And so yesterday that happened, man. And so that was one of the things that happened. And then lately, this week, Jaden hits me with me and her mom. We have a little family chat, DOJ. You know what I'm saying? Dante, Olivia, Jaden.
Oh,
That's cool.
Yeah, we have a little DOJ family chat.
Department of Justice.
Oh, dang. Because I'm the justice.
Yeah.
I'm the hammer. And so we have a little family. We have
You was talking about the headship.
we got a little family text thread. And so I'm chilling at the crib. And I'm working in the bedroom at my desk. Olivia's in the bedroom.
This boy is wild.
Whoa,
They got married. And got
chill, bro.
Hypocrite.
Chill. And so Jaden sends us this petition. And she's like, hey, guys, please sign this petition. So I go and open up the petition. I'm like, what is this, Jaden? And apparently, Richardson ISD is trying to enact this new rule where basically students come in, they have to turn their phones off, put it in this little pouch, and keep it in the pouch all day. And it doesn't unlock until the end of the day. And so all these kids done got mad about it. I could tell it was a kid who started the petition because they gonna say they can't take the phones they don't pay for.
That was the reasoning?
No, so the reasoning, so I go with James like, can y'all sign this petition? I said, let me read about this before I just blindly sign this petition that you tell me.
That's how you
like
do it.
Like a good parent, all right? So I go and find an article, and basically Richardson ISD is saying, one, they're short-staffed. They're short-staffed with teachers. So they're like, yo, it's going to be a lot going on. But they were saying that they've seen a decrease in just students getting their work done because they're on their phones during the class
During the
time.
day.
They said they've also seen an increase in violence and fights because students are passing fight videos around the school. Yeah. And then they said they've also seen an increase in inappropriate videos because kids are passing them around at the school and it's leading to bullying. And so I read this article and I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
I ain't necessarily mad at Richardson. I ain't signing the petition. I said, but Jay, I want you to get into the act of seeing the other side. So I said, Jaden, will you give me 3 reasons why I need to sign the petition?
Did she give you some?
She only gave me 1.
What was it?
In case there's an emergency.
That's what I said. That's the biggest one. Safety.
No. It is, but I just wanted to know from her, like, from a rationale perspective.
Yeah.
Why do you think y'all need to have phones? Because there's been plenty of times where Jaden done let slip. Also, not to say that I be watching TV or nothing in the daytime because I be working, but there have been times when I get on Netflix because we only got one screen and it says I can't watch this because iPhone number 10 is Sadia. And the only other person that got an iPhone 10 is Jaden in the middle of the day. Because I like to have it on the background as I work.
You know the solution?
Yeah.
I have a solution for this.
What?
Get her a flip phone. In case of emergency.
Right. So, but that was valid. She was like, but what if there's an emergency? And so I get that. But I think the concern is you're going to have all these students. There are not enough teachers. And they're like, the last thing we want to do is get in a room and argue with these students. Be in a bigger room with students. Because right now it's about an average of about 30, 25, 30. They're probably going to have to increase it to probably like 40. But these kids about to be in like college classes.
Man. It's just a shortage of teachers.
It's a shortage of teachers.
Do we need to quit our jobs and help the community?
Hold on, King. I ain't heard him.
Cool.
Yeah.
I just need 3 reasons why.
I ain't heard that calling on my. Actually, you know what? I ain't gonna lie. For when I was furloughed in the pandemic, I had applied to be a teacher. I was like, maybe
didn't get the job or what?
I was like, maybe this is God telling me that I need to go back and give back to my community.
Yeah.
Boy, they didn't give me that job, but I was thanking God.
You didn't get hired?
No, so it was
God.
It was this program. Yeah. It wasn't God. But yeah, man. So I just signed that petition. That's all that's happening in my life.
Yeah, get her a flip phone. So you can have your smartphone at home. Take your flip phone to school.
You know what? I could do that. She would probably be so upset.
Get a block phone, the Nokia 9.
Then she'll be playing
even
Snake.
at this point, you can just get an Apple Watch with the plan. If you need to text or you need to
She
call,
has an
you can
Apple
do-
Watch.
You can do straight from your watch.
Yeah.
Can't you text though too?
Yeah,
Yes.
but you can't get on TikTok.
Calm down, King. What that man? What's wrong with that? What that man got?
I'm saying that's why she upset.
That's the real issue. She's
Right.
not concerned with her
And
safety.
she had shown me several fight videos, so I know you ain't paying attention.
At the school?
Yes.
That's
Oh
entertained.
my God.
No, I'm not. I say, Jaden, delete that video.
High school sounds so
After you
lit
show
now.
me. Oh, no, it ain't lit because see, when we were in school, you could do nasty stuff and nobody would know.
No, we have video cameras, but
We had cameras, not phones though. Bro, these kids are recording themselves and then sending it around
I was
the
talking about
school.
the fights. I
Hey
was talking
guys,
about
y'all are making me really uncomfortable.
Oh,
Because
we'll wait for Justice update.
JJ, what's up
let
with
me
you?
tell you about me then. So this past week, man, Pops turned the big 6-0.
Yeah, hit that.
Does your pops and his aunt have the same birthday?
Wait, what day was yours?
Oh, my aunt's birthday was on Tuesday.
Oh no. My Pops was at August 13th.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he turned 60, man. And my dad is one to be real chill. He don't really want to. He don't want to do a whole lot. So
Shout out to
A
Pops.
true party animal.
That man crazy.
nah. So we just got the immediate family together, man, and we got together, went to dinner, and then we went to the Rangers game.
Oh, dope. That sounds fun.
He likes sports, so it would have been dope to go to the Cowboys game, but the Cowboys were they were out of town. So this preseason started, but they played. I think they played in Denver yesterday. I don't know, but they weren't home. So we ended up going to the Rangers game. But just being able to celebrate him, and actually, I took a moment to just reflect and just say, hey, it's just a privilege to have my family, and to be able to celebrate him for 60 years. But went to the Rangers game. That was my first time being in a new stadium.
It was nice.
I heard it's dope.
They spent a lot of money.
Yeah, big money.
It's a really nice stadium, bro. But in my personal opinion, it takes away from
The game.
a little bit. Like
so much
Baseball is
going
boring
on.
anyways.
no, bro. I like going and watching baseball. I don't really watch it on TV like that, but like being in the game, it creates some type of like it's the environment, the atmosphere of being in the game. But because this new stadium is indoors, and I'm used to.
Oh, I didn't know it was indoors.
They have a
retractable,
retractable roof, but that roof was closed. They had the AC on.
Oh.
But it gives a different feel. So
Right.
I was at the game, but it didn't really feel like I was at a baseball game.
Take me out to the ball game.
So things like that, I couldn't even really hear the words on the speakers. I don't know if it was just the way like the setup was, but it didn't create that same type of environment that I was used to. It was still a very nice stadium, though. A different feel. A different feel.
So can I ask you a question, JJ? Your future wifey, I saw that she was with y'all. You said you got your immediate family together. How is that gelling together coming?
It's gelling really good.
Okay.
Yeah, so she gets along really well with my My family, my parents love her. My sister loves her. And their relationship is just blossoming.
Good. We love to hear that.
We love to see.
Yeah, they love her a lot too, man. So they actually, like, even yesterday, man, they just took turns trying to like crack on me. So that wasn't cool. But
Did you fight back? I told you about bullies last episode.
Calm down. Calm down.
I didn't want to take it too far.
Okay.
Yeah, not on Pop's birthday.
Okay.
So yeah, man.
You didn't take Pops to Texas Live?
That's not really his
That's not his
scene. Yeah, no, I mentioned it. We was across the street.
Down the street, yeah.
We were down the street.
Hey,
but-
Pops, we can slide on over to Texas Live.
But he wasn't for it. So we just kept
I
walking.
understand that.
Walking back to the car.
That's a man who stands 10 toes down on his values.
Right. That's what's up, man. So my update, I am helping plan another bachelor party.
Coop is so upset.
I'm excited, but I'm tired.
Right.
So shout out to my boy DZ, he's getting married.
Oh, yeah, shout out to DZ.
You know what I'm saying? Hold on. So we're actually going to New York for his bachelor party.
That'll be fun.
Make it easy. Cause,
One of the dirtiest cities in the world.
all them rats, right?
I ain't never
Shout
seen
out to my New York people.
I ain't never seen a rat when I went to New York.
Bro, have you gone to
Really?
Subway? They be all on the...
I be
You
above
said
ground.
above ground?
Yeah, bro. They all down there with the Ninja Turtles.
Have you stayed at an Airbnb in New York?
Nah.
Okay. All right. But yeah, we're going to New York. My brother's up there, so just to save him a trip, it'll be a...
Oh yeah, that'll be fun, bro. That'll be a good time.
Yeah, man. So more money out of my pocket. Hooray!
It's for the celebration.
It's a
It is a
celebration.
celebration
It's all
to a
love.
boss.
Oh yeah, PSA. If you're getting married next year, I have 2 slots, and I'm only going to 2 weddings and 2 bachelor parties.
Right, because we done went to enough for a lifetime.
And that's it.
We done went to enough for a lifetime in
And that's
2022,
it,
bro.
bro. That's all I got. What's up with you, Justin?
Man, so I thought I was coming with a positive update until Dante took it down.
What
his
happened?
negative role. So this past week was Alexia's first week in high school.
Yeah, buddy,
So I'm officially the parent of a high school.
Yeah.
So
Hey.
it's super surreal.
Justin.
How do you feel?
So we did like the whole like the orientation type thing where like the parent, they separate the parents from the students. So they gave us like this parent orientation. I was like, all right, cool. I got a handle on this. The principal, the APs, the associate principal, everybody sound like they got sound judgment, all this cool stuff. It's like, okay, we got all the technology to stay in tune with everything. I was like, I left that like, we good. Lexi was a little bit nervous because like, okay, this is when it gets real. Like
All these bigger
Yeah,
kids
you're
here.
14, but like there's different ranges of 14.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
for her, is it have a freshman campus and then like the rest
No,
is everybody
she's
together?
all
in.
together.
All in.
Does she have a big homie? Like, does she know somebody?
No, so that's the
that
thing.
sucks.
This is a fresh high school. She has a couple friends, but like nothing to like be like, all right, I know I'm good.
Yeah.
So we had that conversation too, of just like, hey, like you gotta learn how to maneuver.
Right.
Yes.
Like you gotta pick and choose your battles per se, and also
Yes.
pick and choose your friends. Like
Yep.
you wanna find somebody who got your back. Type
Right,
of,
yeah.
high school's ultimately where you can make some lifelong friends.
Mm-hmm.
Which brought my level of like confusion because Alexia and this Gen Z, like they're okay being different.
They are.
Right.
Yeah.
So Lexi's kind of like, I'm not really feeling that. Like I'm cool with just kind of being by myself. I'm like, no, this is against every high school guideline possible.
Have you never seen a movie?
Like you really trying to like move on your own, and it's
Yeah.
like this is not middle school, this is not junior high type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got legitimate like adults around
Got
you.
18-year-old people around
Yes.
you. Yeah.
And like they will like
Move, freshman.
yeah, like they will like point you out type thing.
Oh,
and
my
like call
God.
you out. It's just like it's a level of just like being oblivious. So it's that aspect. Also on the aspect of like I thought I was prepared for it type thing. She did her first 2 days, and I'm thinking they talking about cell phone policy. Like, hey,
Right.
you know, we pretty strict with it type thing. If it don't need to be out, like put it away type thing.
Yeah.
She telling me they on their phones
All day, yeah.
day.
Really?
Yes.
All day, like nobody's telling them to put it away. Nobody's stopping them, type thing.
It's low key a battle that you're going to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, because every kid has a phone.
Every kid has
It's
them.
very different.
So that's so different from me. Like I figured, like I said, I had a confidence. Like okay, you're not gonna be on your phone distracting you, but like she's literally texting me throughout the day, And it's like I can tell you on social media as well. I can look at the screen activity.
Yeah.
It's like nothing is literally stopped. Nothing is giving you an urge to learn.
Right.
Boy,
And I
these
mean-
kids not go to school to learn no more.
So I mean, they don't have textbooks.
What do you mean no more? We didn't either. We just didn't have cell phones.
I don't know about y'all.
No, I learned.
I don't know what.
No, I actually still learned a little bit.
Yeah, I had no choice.
Just
So
like a
yeah, that's
little bit.
different. And then also just, I mean, last thing on like her being an individual type thing, we had a somewhat of a situation. Her school's not necessarily bad as far as like levels of like the percentages of like minorities and everything. That's a decent number. So she feels a little bit comfortable. But they had a scenario one day where somebody like essentially raised an accusation that somebody took my bag, took something out of my bag. So what the school did or the teacher did was like, hey, we're going to search everybody's bag.
Wait, what?
Ooh.
Yeah. Because, I mean, granted, the times that we're in now is like, okay, like, there's nothing is private anymore. You don't
Right.
have lockers anymore.
There's no lockers?
No, they don't do lockers no
No
more.
lockers.
They'll
I didn't
do-
even know that.
No,
Yeah,
they don't do
no
lockers.
Because there's too much stuff
You know
going
how
on.
much you can put in a locker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they for Jaden, you have to buy them, and they're only on a certain hallway.
You have to buy a locker?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we all can get them for free.
Some schools have clear backpacks.
Oh my
Like,
God.
it's pretty
see,
serious.
You know, in DISD, we have to go through metal detectors every
yeah,
day.
that's
So,
what it comes down to.
every day, from middle school and high school. Every day. And they checked your backpack. They would be by the door. You walk through
You
the metal
too?
detector.
I didn't have to go through that, but I understand.
Oh.
And they check the police
This one
officer
went
checks
to
your backpack.
Ridgemont High. Or North. What was the one with
Fair East Side.
Lean on me?
Nah, bro,
Yes.
that's just DISD.
Yeah, so
Oh
she
my
wasn't prepared for that. So that's like a
Right.
little snippet. So she had a similar sentiment like Jaden. She felt like her rights were violated.
Welcome to the real world, sweetheart.
So we had to have a whole heart to heart. And she was just like, I don't get it. Like, even at 14 years old, like, I feel like these are my human rights and nobody should be able to step on them type thing.
Lexi's
like,
gonna be an activist.
something like that.
You're not even a whole human yet. You're a little
Hey.
human.
You're still growing.
You're still growing, little
Hey,
human.
but you know what? And so we have created a generation where they are just super
Kind of entitled.
I was gonna say entitled, but
They're
I didn't wanna
entitled.
say
They're
entitled.
They're super vocal. It's funny because they just have these moments where they're kids, and then they have these moments where they sound like they've been watching Oprah Super Soul.
Yeah, they've been watching
Sunday.
the Fox News all
their
day.
exposure is
Like,
100%
Jaden
different.
gonna tell me the other day, you know, I'm just in a season where I'm just dating myself.
Not-
Nobody can love
She must
me
have got
how
that
I
from
love
you.
me. I said, why you talking like you a 40-year-old woman?
Bruh, you know what? This is perfect because I heard. Did y'all watch the Kevin Hart and Jay-Z interview, the Heart to Heart?
No.
Well, Jay-Z was saying, you know, the kids feel empowered because they have a lot of information,
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
But they don't have understanding,
Right.
Context. All of
Right.
that.
So they know what they're saying, but they don't understand what it
they're
means.
saying.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
We just make you want to chop them in the throat.
Yeah, bro.
You got all the knowledge. And you smart dumb.
Because they be standing 10 toes down.
They
So
do.
They got all the passion behind it with no understanding.
and we
Yes.
communicating through text so they can Google stuff, but whatever.
So yeah, get ready for
Hey,
my
it's gonna-
high school woes.
It's gonna get better, bro. This is 2 weeks?
This is 2 weeks. Yeah.
Y'all already had a situation.
Oh Lord.
you know, Jaden is a junior, so.
Who knows what it's gonna look like when Casey's in high school?
Yeah.
Oh, King, it's gonna be the wild, wild west. You might want to get ready to homeschool. The education system will be imploded by then.
Man.
So, guys, y'all know every week we post a question of the week, and this is what we call our sound offs. This is where we go to you to hear what you, our soundboard, have to say. Now, this week we posted, how do you handle disputes between your significant other and their family members? Now, if you go back to episode 49, we had this whole conversation about, do you intervene when your bae is getting into it with somebody on their side of the family? You know, Coop shared his opinion, basically saying, fight your mama.
Punch her in the nose.
He basically said, punch your mama in the nose. I don't necessarily agree with that, but you guys weighed in, and we had some good ones. Cousin Bobby Art said, I help from outside the ropes like a boxing coach. Watch out for them. Say no to that. They need to get a job. I feel you on that. That has nothing to do with you. He said, we not getting used or disrespected by siblings, cousins, parents, co-workers, grannies, etc.
Man.
We also had another one from Miss Evan. She said, I am naturally overprotective of those I hold dear. She said, I'm working on that because not every battle is mine to fight. Glad you realized that.
Wisdom. That's wisdom.
She said, but I think it really depends on the gravity of the situation. For the most part, I will not butt in, but if the situation is really starting to have an impact on my significant other's day to day or self-esteem, I'm going to say something. Because guess who has to deal with the consequences of said dispute day to day?
Facts.
Do not get in the way of our happy home.
That's a word right
That
there.
is a word right there. So this is my boy, Presidential Pat. We got to get him on the show. I can't wait for him to get on.
Oh, yeah.
He said, I married her. If she's willing to tell the waitress my food wrong, I'm willing to tell her people they wrong. In the end, we are all adults, so I'll be respectful. But be clear, I'm not afraid to hurt someone else's feelings behind her.
That went dark.
You know somebody's serious when they say this. Because at the end of the day, how else I'm going to get my food correctly?
Smart man.
Because at the end of the day, all right, and lastly, we got our girl Crystal. She said family disputes can be a delicate situation, especially with all the traumas people have carried for decades. However, I've learned to listen and create a space where people can express how they feel respectfully. But don't get it twisted. I will eat your ass alive. I will eat your ass alive coming for mine. I believe in right is right and wrong is wrong. And I also believe in sound wisdom, healthy advice. All around communication, vulnerability, and trust is key with family relationships and personal relationships. Set the tone and good boundaries. You see
Bring
that?
the smoke.
And she just celebrated her anniversary. That's why they still married.
Bruh, this is my favorite part, getting feedback from everybody.
I love
bruh.
it.
Yeah,
I
we
love
appreciate y'all.
The whole idea of the soundboard is to get, feedback and change our thoughts.
love
and form
it.
those thoughts. I was even listening back to the last episode and just our different perspectives on like shame and on the whole Will Smith situation.
Yeah.
And it made me think about how Justin saw shame as a weapon that could be used against somebody, and I saw shame as a tool you can use to better yourself. I just thought I think it's dope how we impact each other's perspectives.
It's almost surprising how we're all friends. But here we are.
Speaking of feedback, though,
Yeah.
After the last episode, right? Last episode, episode 49, we talked about Will Smith and the slap and his response to it. So we got feedback. I got feedback after the episode. Actually, my boy Pat hit me and Coop up and was like,
Why he hit me up? I know him too.
does he have your number?
I don't know if we're in the group chat with you.
Yeah, I don't know. But,
I don't know.
either way, you weren't a part of the conversation. But we're bringing you into the conversation. We're bringing you into the conversation now.
I hate him. I hate JJ.
But Pat hit us up and he was like, hey, I mean, have y'all listened to Will Smith's book? Have y'all listened to the audiobook or read it? And we was like, nah. He's like, it gives you a great insight on his response to the slap, like to why he slapped. And so I went and checked out the audiobook and I listened to like the first part of it. And before he even gets to the chapters, he has a segment called The Wall
Okay.
on there. And in The Wall, basically Will Smith is giving this metaphor about how his father had, this spoiler alert if y'all ain't read the book. But
It's been out for a year. They're good.
okay,
I
y'all
mean, at this point, he done basically told us all of his trauma was.
But anyways, and he was talking about how his father had one year made him and his little brother build a wall that they had demolished basically from scratch. So they had to build the wall brick by brick, and they had to do this basically until the wall was done.
That's crazy.
Moral of the story is basically Will was like dreading doing this task. He was looking at it like this was an impossible, insurmountable task. And so at the end of it all, what he came to realize is that his dad told him to focus on the brick and not the wall. When you focus on the brick, you'll be able to get the task done to accomplish finishing the wall and putting it together.
Right.
So he said he took this principle where now in life, he doesn't focus on the wall, essentially
Right.
the big picture, he focuses on the brick. I thought that was a very impactful metaphor that he used. But then it sparked my mind to kind of bring to y'all, like, thinking about that in your approach to life. Are you focused on the wall or are you focused on the brick?
I mean, that's a good question, bro. But when you're saying that, and I end up listening to it also,
Yeah.
I immediately thought about how I'm attacking our debt. Like, so the other day I was talking to Key and I was getting, this usually doesn't happen to me, but I was like, dang, how am I going to get rid of all this stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, she has more than me just because she went to more school and stuff like that.
Right.
But I'm like, how are we going to pay for all this? And she was like, just take it day by day, basically. So basically brick by brick, you know what I mean? And so we're currently doing like the Dave Ramsey model of snowball effect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you basically, any debt you have, you pay the smallest debt off first as fast as you can. Then you go to the next one. All your larger debt, you pay off. You just pay the minimum balance until you can pay it off, basically. So basically just attacking it that way, like attacking it one thing at a time instead of looking at this big number that's in front of you.
Right, man. Because I think it can also just be overwhelming when you just look at the big picture instead of just like the day by day. And I think that's one of the things that I'm learning. So when JJ posed the question, like, what are y'all building like brick by brick? It really just made me think of just how intentional Olivia and I have been in this season of our marriage. And although, you know, we've only been married 3 months, it'll be 3 months in a couple of days. We've just been super
Congrats.
intentional. Yeah, I appreciate it. Blow the horn. Not blow. You know what I'm saying.
This boy is wild. Dante, you good? Who wasn't even going there?
No. But we've just been super intentional about just building a marriage. And I'll be honest with you. You know, when you get married, everybody be coming at you with that. You know, especially church folk. You know, as soon as you get married, that's when the enemy go attack. Whoa!
Everybody think they Denzel.
Whoa! So, so one of the things that we've been doing, we try to make sure that we are always doing something to add to our marriage. And so I told y'all a couple weeks back, we went to the marriage conference at our church, and it was absolutely amazing. One of the things that they said was pray for your spouse daily, because then you'll know what's on your spouse's mind. And so that was one of the things that we took really, really seriously coming out of that. And so every day we just try to pick a point where we just stop and I just pray for my wife. So I bring her in and I say, hey babe, how can I pray for you today? She'll usually tell me what's on her heart. I'll pray for that. And then we'll just go on about our day. And so for me, it's less about.
Y'all do that every day?
We do it every day.
Dang.
It's less about
brick by brick.
It's less about like, okay, how can I just have this grand marriage and like, what can we do daily? Another one of the things that we've been doing, one of the speakers at the conference got this like 52-day challenge. And so the whole idea is you're supposed to
That's random.
read this prompt 52 days, right?
Yeah.
Like it ain't 30.
Yeah.
It ain't like 60.
What, do they have logic behind it or you don't know?
I don't know. But we end up buying it. And so the idea is you end up having a question that you guys talk through every day. So one of the questions was, you know, what is your dream? Another one was, what is your vision for our marriage? Another one was, I feel the most loved or admired when. And so you each answer the question, and then like a little school kid, you make out. You're supposed to talk.
Y'all
talk
be
about
intimate.
You're supposed to talk about it, and then you're supposed to.
You be rushing them questions, huh?
You're supposed to talk about it, and then you're supposed to make out for like 10 seconds. But it really just made me. It made me realize.
There's a timer on it?
It's like 10 minutes to answer the question. And then 10 minutes
the
to
stopwatch?
Nah, bro. We just let the spirit
I'll
feel.
just picture y'all on the floor like Indian style with a candle in between.
But it just really made me realize that people be out here whole getting married and not talking anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And not kissing anymore. And just not being, you know, emotional and vulnerable and intimate. And
They
so
may not know about the 10-second rule.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Just kiss your baby for 10 seconds, my butt. But it's been
See what
something
pops
that
up.
That reminds me of, what is that, 11 basketball, when they're like, we got to kiss for 5 seconds, and they held up the one.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
you gotta count Mississippi's or it's not real. But yeah, bro, that was just an idea. So when you said build something brick by brick, that was just something in this season that that me and wifey have been super intentional about building.
That's good, bro. I feel like you and Coop, y'all both sound like super intentional with like building things brick by brick.
Right.
Not so much for your boy. Like, I have a tendency to focus more on like big picture things.
Right.
And so, you know, one area for me personally where I've been kind of focus on like big picture, like in this example would be the wall, would be like coaching. So that's something that I do elements of it on my job, but there's things that I want to do beyond that.
Right.
But like what's been hindering me is me focusing on like the big picture. Like I'm thinking about all of the things that it takes to get to this end result, and then therefore there's like no action from it, right?
Right.
So that's something that I have to shift and like shift my focus on what it is that I'm paying attention to, how I'm approaching every day. So like being more intentional and trying to adopt the big brick by brick. What is one thing that I can do today,
Right,
and then set me up for tomorrow? But sometimes it's difficult to like take your perspective and shift it from like that big picture focus and just focus on those bricks.
No, that's big. That's big. Big KJB, are you building something right now
So I actually took this a different way.
besides your ego?
Yeah. Brick by brick. So yeah, every time y'all say this, I just keep on thinking about Snowfall.
Oh yeah.
Brick by brick.
I built this.
But also even like just listening to the context for like Will brought it, like the way he brought it up is like his dad destroyed the wall. I guess it was dilapidated, but like we don't necessarily know why he broke down the wall.
Right.
And then they had to work to do this. So my mindset is like not every single time that you have to like fully break down the wall. Like you can still like make adjustments to things.
Right.
Right.
Instead of like having to like focus on like such a big picture.
Right.
So it's somewhat of a different mindset, but it's like I don't always think you have to start from like ground zero.
Yeah,
I understand that.
yeah.
I feel that.
So my personal challenge that I'm like facing with now is like in regards to parenting. Like, you know, Lexi's in high school, so like yeah, I've built this parenting up like brick by brick, but like the idea of starting over type thing is like, okay, how do I do this? It can be overwhelming to think like starting from complete ground zero, like day one type thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's like I need to understand that like, hey, certain things are going to be like cornerstone, like they're always gonna be foundation. I'm not necessarily starting from ground zero. I'm just making small adjustments to the bricks I've already laid. Because I mean, with me, parenting and fatherhood is essentially embedded into who I am.
Right.
So it's like, okay, you're not necessarily going from zero. Start from what you already know. You're good there. You have a foundation. You got half of a wall. And now this time you can look at it different. Like you can build something different. Like it doesn't have to be the same bricks.
Yeah.
You can like, you know, pick something different as far as like just changing up a texture or something.
How you speak to her is gonna be different because she's getting older.
Yes.
And she's in different situations. Like you can't. I'm talking like I got a high school. But I'm just thinking about how my dad talked to me as I got, like it changed, it evolved over time or whatever. Like I even remember the discussions of like when I was in 6th grade and I got condoms for the first time or whatever, just because of his history or whatever. It's like, hey, you're gonna be in middle school. I don't know what's gonna happen. You don't have to use this, but if you're ever in a situation, you have it type thing. And then go to high school. He's like, hey, I know in high school you're gonna think you're a man. Remember, I'm a man. Like I am a man. Like I don't want us to have issues when you go into high school. So it just like helped. He planted the seed and it stayed in the back of my mind of like when I have certain feelings, what's going on at the time at this time. What my dad told me about this, so I kind of could adjust to the moment type thing.
So I mean, just ultimately learning how to lay down the bricks a different way type thing. So if you've already done it one time, like it's, you know, it doesn't have to be one by one. Like I'm a little bit more advanced now. I should be able to do more things.
Right.
Put more energy into certain things when it comes down to breaking something down.
Yeah.
No, that's good, Justin. And I think what you said was really, really good because a lot of times, even if it is something that you're trying to do or something that you're trying to start, you ain't necessarily starting at ground zero.
Yeah.
Like we essentially know what to do. Like you have access to what you do. So even with Coop in debt, like nobody has to tell you that if I'm trying to get out of debt, I probably shouldn't be eating out. Every day.
Right.
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Or like I probably shouldn't be out here spending money on
Bachelor parties.
I was gonna say things you didn't need, but yeah. And even with JJ and coaching, like you said you already do this. So it's not like you don't fundamentally know what to do. You just have to, it's more about just putting in action.
Yeah.
You got the bricks. Just start to lay them.
Yeah. And I think it's really just applying the principle, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's the principle essentially of work ethic and perspective of looking at a task that is possible.
Right.
And I think a lot of times that we as people get in our heads and we think that something is impossible. We think that we don't like things are just too big. And
Right.
And taking that work ethic and applying it across any different lane can show you, hey, this principle applies. Like if you put that work ethic, if you put that action, if you put this step forward, like you can break down any task and make it conceivable.
Definitely. Speaking of working on projects and working towards goals, I had an interesting thought, like when we took our break or whatever, because like I know we're building our podcast and we're doing all these other things, and I sometimes get I don't know, it's not anxious. Like when I get that feeling of being overwhelmed towards a project, it makes me want to work on it all the time. Like there's no stop. I'm
get
always
relentless.
I get relentless, right? So when we had our break, I was kind of like, I felt weird just doing not necessarily having anything I need to do immediately, right? I always feel the need to be producing something or getting something done, like accomplishing something. And it's got me to thinking, like, do y'all feel the same way, or is that something that's just me?
I'm gonna let JJ take that one.
Do you feel comfortable resting, or do you feel like
No, I don't. So rest is something that's difficult for me. I feel like I always have to be doing something. For me, it feels like if I'm resting, then I'm not being productive.
Right.
And I think productive is something that I equate to doing work. Like rest, I don't see how I can be productive being restful.
Right.
And it's something that I have knowledge. Like I understand fundamentally, like rest is good for you. But I think it's been so ingrained in me. I've developed such a habit of like doing so many different things and having things lined up that if I have a break, if I'm not doing anything, then I feel like it's a disservice to myself. So I will find ways to keep myself busy. And so even if I'm supposed to be on a break, I probably 9 times out of 10 am not really breaking.
Right.
I may be breaking from the podcast, but then I might be putting more effort into something else, like my career or personal passion or whatever it is. And it just feels like I always have to be on the go.
Right.
Yeah, that's not the story for me. One thing about me, I'm a rest.
You go rest, but black people take a break.
But this is the problem. I always have so much to do. I probably should be doing stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I have so much to do. I should be doing stuff, but I be having so much to do that I be like, I need a nap.
It's not necessarily that you should be doing. You have something to. You never have a time where you can really.
I never have a time where I should not be doing anything. Like there's always something.
You keep saying should.
Yeah.
You have something that you need to do, but it doesn't, or that needs to be done, but you doesn't mean that you shouldn't rest.
Watch your tone. I said when I said.
You get what I'm saying? No. But
Okay, so break it down for me. What do you mean?
So you're saying I have something I should be doing
All the time.
as though you shouldn't be resting.
No. Rest is important.
Okay.
I'm saying the words are important.
Yeah, so this is the thing. Rest is, I'm not negating the fact that rest is important. I think rest is super important. But I'm saying for me, I have so much stuff that needs to be done. I probably should not be resting. But
It's the
I
same thing.
I don't think Dante's understanding.
I'm not understanding what you're saying there.
Somebody else give it a shot. You get it, JJ?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay.
Basically, he's saying like, all right, you're saying that you have all these things that you should be doing.
Yeah.
These things that are important to you. But you're saying in the same breath that you should not be resting. Like,
Right.
You're saying that all these things are more important than
rest.
resting.
So you're saying that rest is not as important as the things that you should be doing.
No. So rest is important. However, what ends up happening is because I rest and I don't get the stuff done, then I find myself panicked because now I'm rushing to get things done. If y'all would have let me finish my statement, we could have got here. Do y'all want to fight?
I think it's
Because I'll fight everybody on this pod. Because if you really want some rest, I'll lay hands on you and give you rest. You'll have some rest.
You gonna lay us to rest?
Yes, you'll have some rest. Yeah, but that's the problem. So then I will rest because I'll be overwhelmed. And then I'll find myself panicked because
So
I have to get all
the
this stuff
difference
done.
is you want to rest and I don't necessarily want to rest.
yeah, like I want to rest.
But neither one of us are really resting.
Yeah, I was saying
Yeah.
neither one of y'all are accomplishing the goal.
But that's interesting because Dante said that he don't have this problem. He rests. Do you find like rest to be beneficial?
So this is the thing. It's never enough.
Yeah,
Is
that's
there
very true.
Is there a limit on rest? Because I feel like there's different types of rest. So for me, I think one of the things I'll say rest is like being left alone or not doing anything. But even those moments are few and far in between. Like it'll be like an hour or a couple of hours, but I'll be like, dang, I need more of this. And I'll be feeling like I hear so many people be like, well, you just got to take the rest when you can take it. And that should be enough. And I'm like, nah, that's not enough.
I feel like, so this sometimes is my problem when it comes to rest. And it sounds like this might be your problem. I'm not putting this on you because I know you'll lay all of us to rest.
Coach me, JJ. Coach me. Build me up brick by brick.
But I feel like it's probably very hard to have rest if you're worried and panicked about everything that you have to do.
Yes.
So if you're not necessarily stewarding the things that you do when you're not resting well, then it's going to make it hard for you to be able to rest. So like, I think that's going to take away from like your peace when you're resting. So then you're not really, you may have time that you're laying down, but you're not really resting. You're restless in your rest.
Let me cash up you.
Hey,
Fire
man,
your
that
therapy.
man coaching.
That man just coached me.
Man, that's what's up.
I'll write your review.
But it even got me thinking about like the podcast, right? So like we see a influx of male podcasts, right? But why do you think that is?
Because they don't
They
got
got
nothing
idle
else to do.
time. Yeah.
I think that as men, like we want to have discussions, we want to talk, but we also want to be productive. And I think podcasting is probably the best way to do both. Like if we weren't podcasting,
Or therapy.
Right. Coop over here trying to give credit, and I don't know about that one.
No, I'm saying like if we weren't podcasting, we wouldn't meet every week and get to have these conversations. Or
Oh, that's actually
you know what I
very
mean.
true,
Like like before we might hang out once every month or 2 months or something
Yeah,
like that.
it might have been just me and you knowing about the wall. Dante would have never known.
Exactly. It'd been Wallace.
Wait, hold on. Whoa, bro, y'all gotta chill. Y'all gotta chill, bro.
But I thought that was that probably had something to do with it, but who knows? The world would never know.
So like for us, right, we're saying that we have so much to do. We have a lot of things going on. I know KJB is the same way, right? We got a lot that we're always trying to do. But I would say that I've surrounded myself with a circle of people who are like-minded and who also are steadily busy and trying to be productive. It has also been brought to my attention that there's a whole nother group of men out there who are not busy.
What do you mean? Who?
What do you mean you're not busy?
Where are they?
You ain't got nothing to do?
Yes, that like maybe are not working the same amount that we are, that are not like ambitious towards their goals.
Look at my face in disgust.
Y'all just be chilling?
But they rest.
But on the flip side of that, they're resting.
Yeah, but what are you resting from?
What are you working
What are you
towards?
tired for?
Look at this. This is y'all problem right there. Y'all just can't let it go.
I'm just saying.
So what do y'all think is the issue for men in resting?
So I think it's one or two things. I think, like you said, to your point, I think you have men who rest too much, who value rest more than they value making headway in their goals and all these other things. And then you have the other people who are making all these things happen and they're not valuing rest. I don't think either of them are good. And I think they both end up in the wrong place. So for the men who rest too much, they have too much time on their hands and they value rest too much. They aren't building anything. Like they almost have nothing to show. So like Justin has a child. He can say, look at my child. I have invested in my child. Or you could say, look at my career. I've invested in my career. They have built these things and they may have lost rest, but they have, they have goals. Like they've hit their goals. But then on the other side, you got dudes who doing all the building with no rest, and eventually you're gonna tire yourself out.
I think it comes
And you
down.
ain't good to nobody.
It goes down to that Chris Rock joke about women and children being loved unconditionally and men being loved for what they can do.
That is actually very true. That is actually
So
very true.
I think well, for me as a man,
Do you feel like you can?
a real
Me as a
man,
man.
as a man,
Oh, we turned into that podcast. We turned into that podcast.
I think of myself like I'm always trying to produce something or trying to be productive.
Right.
Oh, that's a
like,
good point.
you know what I mean? Like there's something to accomplish. I'm the one that needs to get it done, basically.
I think what you said or were about to say, or either what I took from it, is that
What you said or did say, but this is what I think you should have said.
nah, bro. What I took from it was that like men oftentimes are wrapped up. Their identity is wrapped up in what they do.
They can do, right, and what they can do for others.
Yeah, and what they
Yes.
can produce. So
Yes.
like the more that you can do, that's what defines you.
Yes, thank you.
So one of the things I learned about rest, because I had to learn this the hard way, essentially, to the point of like, your body essentially telling you that you have to rest.
Right.
So I learned this actually from Kat. So she's a listener of the show. Essentially, taking it from the context of the Bible, like God rested on the seventh day.
He did. He was tired.
He wasn't.
He wasn't
all
tired.
that. He wasn't tired.
That's the thing. He
All
wasn't
right.
tired.
I was down tired.
I ain't saying this, I was just joking.
I'm so tired.
Scott Daddy. Scott Daddy don't get tired.
God daddy.
Scott Daddy don't get tired. Sorry, Scott Daddy.
So yeah, he didn't rest because he was tired. He rested because he finished. He had completed what he wanted to complete. So the aspect of like us as a whole have to learn how to prioritize rest as a behavior.
Right.
Not just as like a necessity or something that happens. Like, no, like this is the day that I'm resting, or this is the time that I'm resting. I'm going to do everything else I need to do so it doesn't interfere with my rest.
Right.
So one of the things that she taught me about is, hey, taking a Sabbath day. You can do all your work, but this day that you have for your Sabbath is the day that you rest.
Right.
The Lord gave us
Right.
a Sabbath. So respect it. And if you're not doing that, then you're disrespecting the Sabbath, which ultimately is what God gave us. He showed us an example that, hey, I am doing all of this in 6 days.
Right.
The seventh day, I am not. You can do this too. Learn how to prioritize everything else you need to do so you can get it done, so you have this open time for you to rest.
That boy preaching.
He did. He did. He gave a whole sermon.
He said that we're not looking at rest from a standpoint of necessity, or like you. It's I'm only resting because it's necessary
Yeah,
to rest.
because your body's telling you got to do it.
But
man.
biologically, your body was created to rest.
Right.
Even when you're sleeping and you rest, that's when your memory is restored. You're able to like build back muscle. You're able
Right.
to build back all these different things. So like, yes, it's a fundamental need for your body. So it's like maybe shifting that perspective from like, I'm only doing this when it's absolutely necessary to like, no, this absolutely is essential for me to perform at my top performance or my peak performance.
Yeah, you have to really put it at the forefront to like, I can't perform at my top performance unless I rest.
Bro, so even like, because sometimes I work with these medical students. Some of their faculty members will ask them, one of the common questions they ask them students is like, how much of time are you sleeping?
Right.
Because they'll end up studying so much that they only will sleep like 4 or 5 hours a night.
Yeah.
And they will say, you're not going to make it through medical school like that.
Right.
You need 7 to 8 hours of sleep because otherwise it becomes counterproductive. You're not able to retain information. You're not able to focus. Like your cognitive function is impaired.
Right.
Like you need to prioritize rest. And I just be like, dang.
So basically, I need to think of it as putting rest as part of my production.
Right.
Yeah, rest needs to be on your schedule, on your calendar. Like before you sign up for another obligation, no, like I need to make sure where do I have rest in my schedule?
Okay.
Because if it's not there, it's easy to push out. So we all get caught up in this grind of like just the grinding mentality. Like I gotta keep pushing.
That's
so you
what
say
it
like
is, yeah.
I gotta produce something.
Right.
But ultimately, what are you really producing? To JJ's point, like if your body is starting to like reject
Right.
and start to shut down.
Right.
So like when you look at even like the science of like if you go a certain amount of time without sleep, it's the equivalent of your body like feeling drunk or intoxicated. Like it needs this level of rest and rejuvenation.
Right.
You can't function.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this
yeah.
idea that we've put on ourselves and society as well, that like we have to keep on pushing. We got to be productive with our time. Not everything has to be productive. Some things also to your level of rest can be for leisure.
Right,
What
right,
do
right.
you enjoy? So spending the block back to Dante.
Don't spend it over here.
Yeah.
But his hobby,
Hobby, yeah.
hobby list.
You do so much stuff, but like, how much stuff do you do for your level of rest
I
and
don't
leisure?
have time.
Because that's the stuff that refuels you.
Yeah.
I gotta figure that
That's
out. I gotta figure
We
that out.
got to challenge ourselves to be able to rest.
Yeah.
Speaking of challenging though, so like I got a question for y'all, right? You know, we do a great job as the soundboard holding each other accountable, bringing things and asking questions like, am I tripping? You know, am I wrong for this? All of these different scenarios. And so, me, I'm the one on this podcast who's not married, who's
you're
approaching marriage.
Ringless.
You can't sit with us.
For now. But I was having a conversation recently with my fiance, and we were just talking in general and stuff. And she always does a really good job of like challenging me in different areas. So she will be not even quick, she's just intentional about calling me out on things that I either have a blind spot on or the things that I'm not necessarily aware of. And so we were talking, I think the other day, and we were talking about, she had challenged me on the fact on my communication, because I'll tend to like communicate internally, right? Like I don't necessarily share everything that I need to share, but I will almost anticipate or expect for her to like get the full context of things without really fully sharing the full context.
Right.
And it was just like, just being able to like challenge me in that moment, bring things to my attention. In that moment, you know, it's super productive, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's helpful. But there are times where like she'll challenge me or call me out on things that sometimes it's like, I don't know if I was ready necessarily to be challenged or to call out on that.
In that moment.
In that moment. But I'm interested for like from y'all, how do y'all respond? Or what one, does y'all's significant other call y'all out or challenge y'all? And then if so, like how do y'all respond?
Yes.
In those moments.
Most definitely.
We done been here for yours.
And I don't respond well. No, I respond well. I keep everything light, but I will say I don't like how she goes about it a lot of times.
Right.
Like I go about things completely different from Key. Like she will see me do something she won't like, and she'll say, "Why are you doing that?" Or like, "You don't do it like that. You do it like this." Right. Mm-hmm. I believe in positive reinforcement.
Right.
So I will say, "You see how you did? I really like how you did that." You see the difference? So like they do something wrong, I get it, but when they doing something the right way, I'm telling them, I like how you do that instead of the other way type thing.
Yeah.
So catch them on a good day, reinforce that positive behavior instead of shunning the bad behavior, basically.
Right.
Shame.
Shame.
Because ain't nobody trying to end up like Will. Right. That's trauma. So I don't know, bro. I think this is kind of interesting because I would say Olivia challenges me all of the time.
Mm-hmm. It's a constant challenge.
It's not a constant challenge. It's not a constant challenge, but Olivia does challenge me. I think, you know, at one point when we first dated, when we were in college, she actually did not challenge me because back then I used to be like, "What are you talking about? How dare you?" Like, I did not handle. I didn't handle it well.
Most men that age.
Yeah. All that I do for you.
Yeah.
But you know, now I've definitely have gone lengths to try to prove that, like, hey, you can challenge me, like bring something up to my attention. And now I just kind of, so when she does challenge me, I just kind of get quiet. I just be like, all right.
You take it personal?
Michael
Jordan?
Like, yeah, I just, okay. All right, cool. So my thing is, you know, and I don't think challenging is bad.
No.
I think it's the manner in which you challenge.
Right.
So ladies, tap in real quick, okay? I just wanna give y'all a little wisdom about how to do it. It's probably not best to challenge anybody in front of other people. So like if it's other people around, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but it's probably not best to challenge somebody in front of other people. Also, and I don't know about y'all can tell me if this is better for y'all, if this works for y'all, but as men, like, please, let's start off with, "Hey babe, I appreciate I've been seeing that you're doing this more. But, you know, maybe this is where I need a little more help. Or maybe this is what I would like to do more of." Like, acknowledge that I am doing something.
Right.
Or like, give me a "Hey babe, good job." And then hit me with the challenge. Y'all be coming straight out the gate with the challenge. You coming straight out the gate.
Aggressive too.
It makes me so upset. Like, chill, little mama. Like, calm down, baby. Because believe it or not, men be trying.
Yeah.
Men legit be trying.
Yes.
And so yeah, it's sometimes about how you challenge. It's also about your tone.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's about your tone. Like, "Hey, babe, don't really like that." Instead of, "You always doing this." So one of the things was,
gotta
I had
stay
to
away from absolutes.
You have to stay away from absolutes.
Oh, yeah, please.
I had to get in the. Me and Olivia had a little
Tiff.
because of absolutes.
Yeah.
You never. You always.
Oh, really?
Oh, I don't.
Because I remember.
So then I'm a historian when I bring it up.
Yeah.
So then I'm a historian when I bring it up.
She using therapy words on you? You using therapy words? You're a historian?
Yeah. Don't be a historian. Oh, no, baby. I keep all receipts.
Yeah.
But oftentimes it's never, and this is for the fellas too. It ain't always. It's not you never. Right. Like, so stay away from absolute. So those are just the 3 things I would add to the conversation.
So I mean, I guess opposite. I am the challenger.
Of course. Oh, I know. Kim hates you.
Not him. I hate you.
Kim probably see Justin come and be like, ugh. Here goes my daily challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the king of perspective of just like, hey, there's always like another
the king. That man said I'm the king of perspective.
Yelling my son.
So there's always just a different way to look at it. Like there's always when you put context to something, like whatever position, whatever challenge that you have, or whatever position that you're taking. Like, hey, there's other side of the coin. Mm-hmm. So like, let's try to like explore this a little bit. Right. So that's in the healthy version. Yeah. And the combative version is,
oh God,
you're dumb.
I can defend anything.
Yeah.
Whatever you throw at me, I have a defense for.
Yeah.
And that is my level of challenge where it gets unhealthy.
Well, it's like an argument. It's not even. It doesn't.
I don't necessarily argue. It's like, hey,
that arguing with me.
Yeah. I said what I said.
Justin really don't argue.
Yeah.
He really does not argue.
Like, can you prove me wrong? If you can't, all right.
You're the guy at the desk with the cardboard sign. I'll argue about anything.
Yes. So it's just different. Yeah. When it comes down to challenging, but to your point, like you got to be able to level that out type thing. You got to be able to understand each side whenever it comes down to challenging somebody.
Right. Like you just
create a safe space.
Yeah. And just like what we said with the, in the club situation, put the relationship first.
What
a lot of, when I was challenged in the club.
I'm lost.
About the wedding.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like I said then, you have to put you have to keep the relationship in mind. All right, you have to keep Coop's so slow. Bro.
I'm like, you challenging the club? I forgot all about that, bro. I'll be deleting stuff.
Your hard drive full. But you have to keep. I think that's the best thing to do is keep the relationship in mind. A lot of times when it comes to challenging, we feel like we have to get our opinion out in the moment.
Yeah.
And we have to say what we have to say, or we have to get the last word. And ultimately, you are forgetting about the relationship, going straight for the challenge. And that's unproductive for the person and for you all's relationship.
Right.
So that's just what I would like to also add to that conversation. Now, Coop, I actually sent you a video. I think this is a great example of how you challenge someone.
I don't think my husband respects my position as stepmom.
Let's talk about that.
Your children, the ones that I did not create, they're allowed to do what you do. They sleep all day. They don't come out of the room. They don't do
Wait a
things to
minute,
do.
hold up. I want you to come over here. I want you to watch this. Let me show you something. Go sit over there. I have a little concern because your sons are not demonstrating that they are learning to be the kind of man I know you want them to be. They're gonna demonstrate the kind of man you teach them to be. And I'm not really sure what to do about that. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Get off my man.
That's how you do that. The woman has to talk to her man to get him to move the way she needs him to move. You're not gonna get nothing with that. Did you see that? Yeah. Did you feel that?
Yeah.
Bruh.
Man, say. Hey, let that be the end of that conversation.
Bruh.
That is just how I think that was when I saw that video and the dude started tearing up. And that leads me to believe that all he's hearing at home is negative.
And she was reinforcing, y'all can't see it, but she was reinforcing it with the arm
She was
rub.
rubbing his arm. We're going to actually post this when we drop the episode. We're going to post this on the story.
Yeah.
So you can see it. And I'm not saying that may work for everybody, but I just thought that was a good example for fellas, y'all too, Justin. If you are a challenger in your relationship in general, no matter who you are, male or female, I believe that was a great example of how you challenge someone effectively. To do the right thing.
And just for disclaimer purposes, none of our women are the ones that go, That's
Olivia
none
don't
of
nag. She don't nag.
I'll remain silent. I'm just kidding, Key. I love you.
Well, it's time for my favorite part of the show. It is time for the soundbite of the week. Now, you guys know that we are going to come and we're going to drop you with some knowledge every single week. Hopefully, this is what you will use to get through the week. And this week, it is how we decide to respond to our fears. That is the person we become.
Dante, can you say that again?
I can. How we decide to respond to our fears, that is the person we become.
That's good, bro.
Hit my buzzer, man.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I didn't like that guy who challenged me just now.
I'm sorry, Coop. I really appreciate you hitting the buttons on the podcast. Could you please hit my buzzer?
You gotta start somewhere. Start with one brick. And you focus on one brick. The next brick will be better.
Hey guys, we appreciate you as always for tapping into another episode of the Soundboard Podcast. Hopefully you found some value in this week's episode. Please do not forget, guys, we are on all streaming services. If you're on Spotify, if you're on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review, guys. That's how other people find out about our show. That's how we are rated. And so please do that. Also, if you have not joined us on our community that we're building on IG, please follow us at the Soundboard Podcast. It's your boy Dante. You can follow me at Dante Speaks Life. That's DONTAE Speaks Life.
And this is Coop. You can follow me at thisiscoop_.
And you can follow your boy JJ at _Jeremy J.
And all things Big KJB at Just a Fiasco.
We out.
Peace.
Later.